Hello and welcome back to another Dose of Sunshine episode. I'm your host, Sunny Nielsen, messaging expert. And today I want to talk to you about good ideas and when a good idea may not actually be a good idea. Now, let me premise this with, there are good ideas and there are bad ideas. Come on, camera, let's focus. Okay, let's premise this. There are good ideas and there are good ideas everywhere, but I really want you to understand that there are some times where a good idea maybe isn't the best idea, at least in its execution. Now, before I jump into this, if this is your first time joining the show, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. If you have not liked the business page, go ahead and like my page, hit the little bell button wherever it is around the video so that you can keep up to date and get notified every time I come up with an episode, which is every day right now because I'm in this huge blitz just to give you tons of value. Now, if you know any business people or anyone who might benefit from any tips about business, marketing, creativity, or just general craziness about trying to run a business while being a wife, mother, spouse, anything like that, please drop them, tag them in the comments, share it out on your page. If you share it out, please use my hashtag DOSunshine. That way I know that you're sharing it out, spreading the word, and I would appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you. Now again, if you're joining me live, please drop a comment, hashtag live, would love to know that you are joining me live. If you're catching me on the replay, I love my replay peeps. Thank you so much for joining me and would love a comment underneath, hashtag replay, just so I know that you're here. Love comments from my viewers. And if you have any questions, comments, anything throughout this show, or go back and watch any of my other previous episodes, if you have any questions, comments, again, feel free to drop a note into the comments so that I can go back and I will happily and always respond to those comments. So thank you so much again for joining me. And now let's get into the nitty-gritty. So I have to start with a story because really this kind of came about because last night at about 9:30, I suddenly was struck like with this great idea that I was like, oh man, I've been thinking about expanding into this part of my business for a while. So I've been thinking about building a Shopify store. Not only for my own business, but I've also been looking to try and help my husband's business with build a Shopify store as well, because he has a podcast. He wants to like sell t-shirts and knickknacks and all those fun things that's related to his podcast. So little plug there. If you haven't listened, it's called The Hort Occult, HORTOCCULT podcast. Great. And it's all about xeriscaping, all that stuff. Great thing when we are in a drought situation, which I know a lot of the United States is, even though we're going into the winter months. So there you go, little plug for him. There you go. Love you, babe. But so it came to me at like 9:30 at night. We've been talking about different things with other business associates, talking about buying things and purchasing or selling things. And, you know, someone said, hey, we should just figure out this whole Shopify thing. And I don't know what happened in my brain last night. I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. Come on, camera. There we go. I'm going to figure out Shopify. I'm going to figure out what I need to do to make this sucker happen. And it really is a good idea. I think diversifying businesses, finding new channels, new streams, new ways to reach an audience and connect with them, engage with them, as well as make sales, always good, because you're always looking for new ways to grow your business, expand your audience and your reach. And you know, if you don't have an online store or you don't have a physical store or something like that, that's an area that you could expand into. So I was like, mind blown. I'm totally going to do this. Here's the catch. Again, this idea came to me at 9:30 at night. And unfortunately, I am slightly obsessive when it comes to some of my ideas because I want to flush them out. I want to do research. I want to, you know, study, watch YouTube videos, like research platforms and products and options and all the little things that go into a new avenue or a new direction. And guess what? Okay, full confession. I stayed up, Sunny Nielsen, stayed up until 4 a.m. Legit, 4 a.m. researching, studying, like going through some existing courses that I already had related to e-commerce and shopping and all of those things, because I was like obsessed in my brain going, I know this is good for my business. I know I can make this work. And let me tell you, after staying up to 4 a.m. and then having to get up at 8 a.m. to get kids ready for school, and then on top of that, I had a little one who was sick. So that threw the whole routine out of whack. So it's like compounded where, you know, I was so excited about this idea. But now this morning in the cold light of day, I'm kind of rethinking my choices right now. Really tired. But I want to tell you this story, and I am making this confession to you to realize that I had a great idea, and it's still an idea that I'm going to move forward with in my business. But deciding that I was going to go deep on this idea at 9:30 at night, when I knew this was not something that I could research for like an hour and be satisfied with my results, this was not necessarily a good idea. At least not a good idea to execute when and how I did. Now, if you have ever run with like a crazy idea in your business, or if you've ever had this instinct where you're like, oh, I have this thought, I have this idea, I have to run with it, I have to see where it goes, please drop a note in the comments and just raise your hand. That lovely little emoticon of like, raise your hand. I want to see who else has sacrificed their sleep or something slight, their sanity the next day in pursuit of driving into this, driving headlong, pursuing this great idea. Now, I tell you this story and I give you this lovely PSA because I want you to realize that there are great ideas, and great ideas happen at any time. They happen in the middle of the night, they happen early in the morning, they might happen in the shower. Like great ideas come everywhere. And I don't want you to discount that when you have a great idea, that it is great. I want you to own the greatness. But I want you to realize that when that idea comes into your brain, you don't have to act like a dog with a bone and you're just going to take it and run with it and go and not let go of it. I really want you to take a deep breath and write that idea down. It's so amazing what happens when you write it down. Now, I don't care if you do it in Evernote, digitally on your phone. I particularly, it's more therapeutic for me if I write it on paper. I know I should do it digitally because then I always have it, but I always keep a notepad and pen by my bed. I mean, people who know me, I have notebooks everywhere. Literally on my desk right now, I have 3 notebooks, 3 physical notebooks, because I like to get my ideas down physically on paper because it's more therapeutic for me, because it helps me to use all of my senses to get my ideas down. So I want you to find a process for you to capture those great ideas. Put them down in their entirety. What would you like to see happen? What would you like to research? How do you see it structured in your mind? But I want you to get it all out of your mind and into some other kind of reference point. Paper, Evernote, an audio file, literally just turn on the record on your phone and just start talking. But I want you to capture it so it comes out of your brain and out of the process of it rolling around and percolating in your brain. Because I will tell you, here's another, second little PSA. Sleep is important. I know we don't think so, and especially as moms, we're like super women. We're we only need 2 hours of sleep, and it depends on the person, but you might need a little more sleep than others, or you might be a little on the crabby side without getting sleep. Now, I know for myself, I can usually run 3-4 hours of sleep. I'm okay. But my husband, if he does not get 6 hours of sleep minimum, he is a little bit of a crabby eye if he doesn't get his sleep. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's actually really healthy for you to understand where your physical limitations are right now so that you don't burn yourself out. And I don't want you to burn out as you're working on your business, because your business is your livelihood. Your business is your passion. And I want you to keep up with the energy and continue the drive that you had when you had that giant big idea. I want you to keep that drive. And if you continue, now again, if you do it once, it happens. And, I will admit, I have done it once, maybe twice in a row, but I don't really recommend doing it consistently. Now, I am so notorious for this because most of my good ideas, I'm a night owl. So most of my good ideas literally come to me like as I'm falling asleep. So it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, oh, I could totally do this in my business, or I could totally go this direction, or I could totally look at this avenue. And then if I don't get it out of my brain, and I didn't take my own advice last night and I didn't put it on paper. I didn't get it out of my brain because then all of a sudden I just laid there all night long, percolating, going, oh, I could do this or do this or do this. And it got to the point where I just couldn't sleep and I just had to drive and I had to go. I couldn't turn off my brain. I couldn't turn off the business in my brain to go to sleep. I don't want that to happen to you. So this is my little PSA to you, that your business is amazing. You are amazing. I just want to make sure that even if you have a good idea, it may not be a good idea to pursue it with reckless abandon at 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, midnight. Because while it may seem like you're totally driving hard on that path, a lot of times, at least for me, about 8 times out of 10, I look and I wake up the next morning, 1, super tired, 2, like drained already because I used all of that, I was like pulling extra energy to keep going with the drive. And 3, when I really took like my 2020 vision and looked back on the night, I kind of went, did I really get that much farther forward by pursuing it all the way through the night? Or could I have strategically taken it out, put it on paper, and then reevaluated and assessed the best plan of attack in the morning? So if you have ever done this, again, and I hope that you see the value in what I'm trying to tell you, and I hope that you learn from my mistakes. Not that this was a mistake, but just my learning curve. Because, now the rest of today, I am going to be fighting twice as hard to get through all the projects, get through all the tasks that I need to complete to run my business successfully. And that was a choice that I made last night, and this is now the consequence that I am living with. And so I am owning my consequence. I accept it, but I hope that you will learn from my choice and my consequence, so that you can see that when you have a good idea in your business, it may not be a good idea to pursue it right at that moment. Because again, it may sound great at midnight. It may sound like the best idea in the world at midnight, but it doesn't mean you have to pursue it with reckless abandon at midnight. Because if you get, rest, if you eat a decent meal, have an apple, try and take care of yourself personally, because if you're not well, your business doesn't run well. And we want to make sure that your business can be successful. I want your business to be successful for you. And so if you need anything, if you have any comments about, how to get the ideas out of your brain and onto paper so that you can kind of have that peace of mind to go to sleep at night, or to be able to reevaluate that great idea in the morning, to, reallocate your troops, reallocate your money, whatever that is, just know that oftentimes, really, like 8 times out of 10, unless you are in a hyper fast moving industry or market or like technology, something like that, where literally minutes are changing in terms of how people reach the data and shift, there are very few markets where you have to act on this instinct right away. It's okay to take a break and to take some time for yourself. Own that, I need to take time for myself so my business can run and be successful. And allow yourself to calm your brain and take that rest. Because trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. I'm going to be fighting because I was up all night trying to pursue this great new idea that I had in my brain that sounded great in the middle of the night. And now that it's morning, let's just say it's a little painful. Hey, Darby, I see you're on live. Hello, hello. I hope you have not had many sleepless nights like I have, because today's episode was all about the fact that I was running with an idea and ended up sacrificing my sleep in order to do it. And that is not really healthy for a really strong and thriving business. So I really hope that you don't have any of this. And if you do, again, please drop in the comments. I would love to know if this is something that you do, or you found a technique to try and get those crazy ideas out of your brain. Drop it in the comments. Do you write it on paper, like physical notebooks like I do? See, again, all my three physical notebooks. I'm a physical notebook person, but do you do physical notebook? Do you do Evernote? Do you do audio? Tell me if you are working on trying to get those ideas out of your brain. Drop them in the comments and let me know, how do you get those ideas out so that you can keep the good idea, but make sure that you're making good choices on when you execute that good idea. So that is my PSA announcement and my little bit of a confession. Oh, I write it in a physical note and sometimes audio. See, I love that, Darby, because I think there's something really powerful, and I think a lot of people discount physical paper. Something about this for me, it really is the fact that I'm using all of my senses. So like, I have to physically hold the pen. I can see the paper and how my pen is writing. And I actually find this really helpful, especially when I'm like formatting ideas, because not only do I want to write things out, but sometimes I want to draw a diagram, or I'll want to color a doodle, or something that's related to that idea. And I find physical paper is really helpful in that, because I'm allowed to explore all of the ways. Because sometimes, like when I'm doing something like on Evernote, how do I type something and then, oh wait, I need to draw a diagram of like a workflow or something like that. This is why I really use it. And I really like the fact that you use a combination, Darby, of physical note and an audio. Audio I love audio, especially in the car, because that's an area that I really get some amazing ideas. But of course, you can't exactly type anything when you're driving in your car. So yes, safety note, never text and drive, never type and drive, none of those things. No. I want you to be safe and successful. So audio is amazing. And I'm so glad to hear that you have multiple ways of capturing those ideas. Now, if you have any questions, comments about how to capture those ideas, how to put them on paper, and then how to evaluate moving forward with those ideas, I would love to help you. Feel free to drop a note in the comments. I always respond to the comments, or you can always DM me, and I will happily go through with you on how to go through these ideas, the processes, the flows, whatever those fun ideas are that you want to pursue to make your business better. I want to help you. So again, this is Sunny Nielsen. This is Dose of Sunshine, and I hope that I will see you on my next episode, where we continue to dig into all of these crazy things about running a business, because they can be crazy, but know that you have a support system in me. So feel free to reach out at any time. And until then, I will see you later, and I will also give you an update on my confession of the fact that I did not have much sleep last night. So we'll see how I do. But thank you so much for joining me live. And if you're catching me on the replay, thank you so much for joining me on the replay. And we will catch you in the next episode. Bye.